So in this video of breaking down and drawing anime poses, I'm going to be drawing Mitsuri from Demon Slayer, and I'm going to be picking random characters from that just to because I did a lot of dynamic poses for creating different action with the weapons and swords. So I chose that one in particular. So I chose a couple of poses that I'm going to be using with her, and so for this one, I start out usually with the head, and I'm working my way trying to figure out where to go with it. I'm trying to kind of figure out where to position it, where the lines are, as far as the action lines and where everything will be placed onto the paper. You see me doing here. I'm kind of just figuring out the angle, and even then, sometimes I'll draw out a central line to kind of figure out where the angle is, because sometimes when I'm drawing poses, the pose may look like it's angled, but then I may draw it straight, not realizing that it's supposed to be angled, even though it's it's straight. Well, it's kind of confusing unless you're doing it, but it's kind of like you're drawing it from an angle from the reference, but then on your paper it's looking straight, and you kind of have to draw like an action line to kind of figure out where that angle is and kind of follow that action line as you're progressing and drawing the different shapes, as far as the circle for the chest and the circle for the waist and things like that. And you see now I'm making the waist, and of course, since it's a female pose, I'm going to the waist is larger, a little larger than the chest area. You see me right now, I'm adding in just a little slight reference where the chest is going to be, and just to kind of add a little more depth as far as it being a female figure. And drawing female figures to male figures aren't really that different. I mean, you don't really have to put and make the waist larger, only because when you're doing that, you're kind of, this is more of a reference anyway. And when you're detailing and adding the actual figure, you're erasing all that anyway. So you can just draw the typical generic figure, and then later on, as you're adding in details, create the character. You're erasing it, and you're adding in details. You're enlarging different areas, because either way, with the final design is always different. Like what you see here isn't always the final image. Like even when I'm adding detail or creating whatever pose or character I'm making with the pose, you're erasing things. You're changing things. So everything you see here isn't the final product. There's always things to change into it. Like maybe the arm is too low, and you're adding detail later on and the arm is higher. So whatever you draw here for your base model is never the final product. There's always changes to be made to it. So a lot of times, people will draw the shapes and different figures and say, "Oh well, hey, there's no way to make the character fluid," or different things like that. But all that comes from practice. You make the shapes, and after you make the shapes and you master the shapes, where position, how to place them in perspective, and different areas and things like that, then later on, when you start to add anatomy, you will easily know where to place anatomy. The anatomy is the second step. Second step is making the anatomy and drawing anatomy in those different poses and positions as you're going along. And it's never like together. So if you don't know how to make the shapes in 3D space, then how are you going to make the anatomy? One has to go with the other. So it's kind of like two different things that you have to master. You have to master the shapes, you have to master the anatomy, you have to master, how to overlap different shapes for shortening things. There's a lot of steps to it. And to me, this is always being the first method. And even after you master everything, there's always a chance that you'll go back to it. Like I'm always going back and drawing shapes, because I'm always figuring out different poses, different positions. And the easier way, or easiest for me to figure that out, is by drawing shapes. You draw the pose out, you draw the shapes, and it's easy to figure out how to position things, where to position them, how to position them in perspective, because you're drawing the boxes and things like that. There's always a way or a time to go back to it, even no matter how much of a professional you are. Even professionals go back to it. To me, it's kind of like a learning experience, but that's just a way for how I practice. See, right now I'm just adding in the parts of the finger, trying to get the shapes in with that, darkening certain areas. Since I like to darken the areas of the figure or parts of the body after I'm done with it, just to kind of outline it, figure out where it's going so I can draw it out later on. But sometimes when I'm drawing out later on and details, I want to kind of have a little ladder to know where to place things easier rather than just figuring it out. Especially with hands, I'd rather just draw it out with the skeletal figure, and then later on in detail, I just draw over it easier without trying to figure it out at the end. I'm adding in the chest, rib cage. Rib cage I like to throw in every once in a while just so I can kind of get the gist of where everything's positioned. And darkening certain areas. Focus on the shoulders. That's one thing I like about the shoulders, is making those circles for the shoulders is an easy way to, figure out where the arm's going to go when you're placing in that dynamic pose. Since she's going out fighting with her blade, that it's kind of like a whip blade, and she swings that. Even though you can't really see it here, but you'll see it in the next pose. I draw it out, but again, trying to grab that dynamic positioning of it. And like right now, I see how the arm in the reference is a little bit higher, but that's no big deal. If I decide to go back and draw the actual thing, I just erase it lightly, raise the arm up, and then bam, you're done with it. Now for this one, I chose this pose only because it her is more of a dynamic kneeling pose, and she has her blade, and you kind of see the whip part of the blade, and I wanted to draw that too. So right now I'm starting it the same as the last one, starting with the head. And typically I always start with the head. The head is kind of like the main stepping stone for creating the poses. I draw the head first, and then I just draw the body as I go. And it's easy to do that because sometimes I'll draw the head and then the circle for the body, and I wouldn't even draw the neck yet. I'll draw the head, circle for the body, and the waist, and I'll just add the neck later on. The neck, and then the two circles for the shoulders, because it's kind of like you're jotting down the pose really fast. And so the more you do it, the more you just start to throw in some random shapes. Say, okay, well, I'm throwing these random shapes in because I already know where it's positioned, and I can just add things as I go, because you're going to erase it anyway. It's not the final product. You can, when you're in the skeletal stage, the base part of the model, you can do whatever you want to it. It's kind of like when you're doing 3D modeling. In 3D modeling, you have the base mesh, and you're just doing all these different things, and you're molding it out, trying to figure out where to go, and you position different things, and it's always different steps before you get to that final product. Once you get to the final product where you're adding details to it, then you're fine-tuning everything after everything has been fixed. You see right now I'm just throwing the leg in and real quick, because I already threw the circle for the knee, so automatically you already know where the leg is going to go. Same thing for the chest. The chest is already done. The waist is already done. Now I'm adding in the circle for the shoulder. See, I was about to add a circle a little bit further back, but I realized her arm was going forward a little bit, so I just went, without even erasing it, I just added another circle, because I can go back and erase that mistake of the circle later on, just to keep the pose or the sketch going. Making her arms, a cylinder for the arm, circle for the little elbow, and I'm going in, making that cylinder for the forearm. Now I'm adding in the part where the hilt of the sword. That way, the sword looks like it's floating now, but then later on, when you add the hand, actually connecting to the sword or grabbing the sword, then it makes sense later on. But I always like to add whatever they're grabbing or holding. I'll just throw it in there. Sometimes I'll throw it in there, depending on the pose. I'll put the object in there first, then draw the pose. I may draw depending on the angle or how it's looking. I may draw the cup first, and then as I'm working my way from the cup, I'm going into the person holding the cup. So it all depends on how you want to draw it, how you want to do it. There's always different methods. There's no wrong method for doing it. You're just doing it to have fun, and everybody has their own way of doing it. So if there's somebody that say, hey, you gotta do it this way, you gotta do it that way, and I just tell them, no, you have your own way of doing it. It's your drawing. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to follow their method. You don't need to follow my method. This is just the way how I like to do it. Everyone has their own way, and every way is the right way. There's no wrong way of drawing a character or a figure. That's why there's always numerous different things, whether you're doing a gesture, whether you're using shapes. Some people do stick figures. There's multiple ways for drawing things the way that you want to do it. So never feel too discouraged for drawing it a certain way that someone is doing different. And, they're saying, hey, you're doing it this way, you should be doing it this way. Like, no, you do it how you want to do it. If you can learn it and do it a certain way, then keep doing it that way. If you can learn to do it another way after that, then hey, do it that way also. I mean, there's professionals who still try other people's methods to get the job done. There's nothing wrong with that. So right now I'm adding in part for the leg, getting in the darkening certain areas, fine tuning it so you can see it a little better. I'm erasing some of the lines. Every once in a while, I like to erase some of those inner lines just so that you can see better. And sometimes I see better, but a lot of times I really don't erase those. I'm erasing them more for the video so that you can see, the structure better without seeing a bunch of crazed lines in there. That we can, get a general idea on creating those shapes. So I'm adding in the holder, sword holder. Even though it's just a little skeletal figure, skeletal shaped figure, so you don't really see a belt or anything. And I'm adding in the blade or whip blade, or a blade that's kind of like a whip that she likes to use. Adding in the chest area. I kind of left the center line there, but typically I erase that, especially when you're drawing the chest area. But when you detail it, at least you know where it goes. Erasing the inside lines where her arm is, and also that back mistake that I had made earlier with the circle for the shoulder, when I eventually went behind and changed it to move it a little bit forward. But that's it for this video. Want to see more videos like this? Hit the like button, comment for any other poses you want to see, and take care.